Hey there YouTube, it's Moodog815G. Today we're going to be having a look at a client bike that was brought in for service. This is a bicycle that was purchased on Meijer.com or at a Meijer store locally. This is a Iron Horse Compadre. If you know anything about Iron Horse, they had a bit of a heyday back in the 90s, the 1990s for their bicycles. This is not a representation of the old Iron Horse. This is the Iron Horse name that was purchased by Pacific Cycles out of Madison, Wisconsin, the headquarters of Madison, Wisconsin, who purchased Mongoose, the Mongoose name, the Diamondback name, the Schwinn name, and kind of took that name, plastered it on mass-produced frames from China, put low-end parts on it, and sold them in department stores to unsuspecting people. Now, this guy, I think, knew what he was getting when he bought it. He wasn't really expecting the most out of it. I think he's pretty happy with his purchase, but let's just take a look around the bike and see what $219 these days will get you from Meijer. We're looking at all low-end components. You got steel rims. These might be alloy rims. This is a 27.5 wheel bike, and you can see that the tires are pretty beefy on this guy here. I did not see a size, but let's see if we can find a size. And I apologize for the lighting in here. I'm on my sun porch right now, and it's not all too sunny outside at the moment. Let me see if I can get another light on here. Maybe this will help. I doubt it, but we'll try. It does absolutely no good, but that's okay. So we're looking at oversized tires here. This is kind of like almost in the snow tire or super fats. Let's see here. I'm trying to see if I can see a size on this thing. And I don't see one now. I will go ahead and put that in the description down below if anybody's interested in knowing what size that is. And again, I apologize again for the low lighting for this video here. But I'm dealing with low budget at the moment yet. So let's see if we can, there we go. That helped out a little bit. I opened the blinds behind me here. So again, low-end Shimano components pretty much all the way through. I won't say all the way through. You've got a Shimano rear derailleur. People see Shimano and they go, oh, it's great. You know, the bike company may advertise it has Shimano components. But when you really get down to it, it's nothing more than stamped steel and plastic. Very, very sloppy. There is adjustments on it, but there's so much slop and not very good tolerances on the pulleys and even on the pins where they're pinned in here. And so the shifts are going to be adequate but not crisp. So the chain is just going to be probably either a KMC or something along those lines, a very, very low end chain. Front crank is all steel, so it's an all steel riveted or maybe even spot welded unit. Higher gearing, it looks like it has here for the big gear, looks like maybe a 28-38 48 possibly. So that'd be the gear ratio on this. Front derailleur, same way. I mean, you're looking at low-end components all the way through. A completely steel frame. This bike is heavy. It is super heavy. I carried it in for the repair that I'm doing on it, the derailleur adjustment, and I'm going over some brakes for him. And just making sure the bike is put together safely. It was purchased at a Meijer store and put together by probably their employees, so I'm just kind of going over it for the gentleman to see if everything is working correctly. The componentry on the bike is going to be all pretty much no-name Chinese for the shifters and the brake levers. Brake levers say power on the boots here, and it's all plastic. These are all plastic here, so the boots that you see, all plastic. Steel handlebar, and a headset style headset on here, so that's kind of cool. I mean, that's actually kind of a bonus. I believe that's going to be an alloy stem, and then you just your standard Kraton rubber grips. But disc brakes. People see these things on these bikes. You see the disc brakes, you see the Shimano rear tag, very, very boldly printed across the stamped steel derailleur face, and they think, oh boy, this is a great bike. Well, I mean, in the realm of department store bikes, it's probably on the high end. Mid-high to high end. You have no-name brakes. These are mechanical disc brakes. The discs are pretty much out of true, so I went ahead and I bent them back into shape as good as I could. And you've got a Zoom. You guys remember from the 80s and the 90s, the Zoom, very, very late 80s when suspension came in, 89, into the 90s, the Zoom brand, Z-O-O-M. Well, this is the Zoom branded front fork. And it's flashy, it's nice, it's got the cool decal on it, but it's a pig. It's very, very heavy. And you want to make sure that you know when you get these bikes that is the front. So they go ahead and they put a label on there so you know that is in fact the front of the fork. I've seen so many of these bikes come in. People don't know what they're doing. They bring them into me to go over, and the forks are actually turned completely around. So you've got the fork arch, the brace here in the back instead of in the front. Not a bad looking bike. You've got nutted front and rear axles on this particular bicycle. So you can see back here nutted. And so not very serviceable, very kind of more clunky to take apart, but they're nutted and they seem decent. The wheels spin pretty true. I haven't had any issues with wheels being out of true. Again, I did mention before that the rotors for these brakes are a little bit tweaked, so I had to actually straighten those out in order to get the brakes to work at least better. The saddle, again, is another affair altogether. This is a not very comfortable saddle, but it does have the Iron Horse logo on the side of it with the blue to match the rest of the paint scheme, or the decal scheme, I should say, on the frame. You have the old school style stem here with the actual saddle that for the stem that clamps on via this bolt that runs through the whole stem. So you have that idea right there going on. The bottom bracket is a three-piece unit, so you have two cups, and then you have the spindle, and so it's serviceable, but it's not the standard cartridge style that I'm used to these days. I've worked on a lot of these, so it's not a big deal, but again, it's not optimal. It's a cost-cutting, cutting corners here. So that's what they did when they make these bikes. They put the cool stickers on, and you can see the stickers are on top of the paint, not even under any clear coat. So you can see right on the top there where it says "wear your helmet" underneath there. It's starting to peel up on the edges. So yeah, it is what it is. $219 for this bike. Would I recommend purchasing this bike to anybody out there looking to get a bike? Well, it all depends on your inclinations. Do you want to ride the bike off-road? If you want to ride the bike off-road, I'm going to say no, probably not. This is going to be a bad experience for somebody looking to get into mountain biking, the sport of mountain biking, riding on trails, riding on heavy-duty terrain, roots, rocks, that type of thing. It's going to be a heavy bike, hard to pedal. The geometry, I don't imagine is optimal for off-road riding. If you're going to ride the bike around town with your family, up and down the sidewalk, maybe on a rails trail or something like that, a little bit, yeah. Is it a charity bike for riding 50-mile charity rides? No. This is a round town sidewalk bike to ride with your family. $219. It serves a purpose. It's got two wheels, a crank, a chain, and it moves forward when you pedal it. So it's a bike, and I like it. For its intended purpose, I think it's good. For a mountain bike, I would not recommend it. Anybody out there looking for a mountain bike, there are other options. If you check Craigslist or you check, Facebook Market, you can find people selling bicycles that are bike shop style bicycles, bike shop quality bicycles, better componentry, more suited for any intended purpose. So this is actually, I just want to show you guys this real quick as I wrap up the repair for this gentleman. He's coming to pick it up in probably an hour or so. I apologize for the crappy camera work here and the low lighting, but I wanted to get this video out and show you guys. And any questions or anything like that, throw them in the comments below. And if you guys like the video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you all in the next one. God bless the Republic.